Hi, my name is Emily Troy. I am the Holistic Facialist, and I'm back this week with another video, a bit of a random one, talking this week about food and a little bit about diet and what I like to eat. I know so many of you who visit my blog, you know I have a little bit of an obsession with food, and I guess it's a bit of a hobby when it comes to cooking and baking. I love cooking, I love baking, and as much as I adore skincare, like I eat, sleep, breathe, you know, everything skincare, I thought it would be quite nice to do a little bit of a change and do a video about food, because I'm a little bit obsessed with food. I'll just put that out there, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of go through what I like to do in my lifestyle when it comes to diet, and some people asked me a few questions, so I thought I'd put it all in a video, and yeah, it just might be, you might find it interesting. So the first thing that most people ask me is, are you vegan? And I try and eat as much plant-based as possible, but I am really not vegan, quite far from it really. I don't eat meat, and I try not to eat dairy, but I do still have a little bit of eggs, a tiny bit of fish, maybe 2-3 times a month, and I have a tiny bit of cheese, like maybe twice a month. On saying that, if you look back at some of my blogs in the last couple of weeks, it's been nearly every day. But yeah, I'm just gonna glaze over that. So I try and eat a pretty healthy plant-based diet where possible, and last week I actually watched the film What the Health, and I know it's controversial, and I know people are saying, oh, it's always promoting veganism, and yeah, it's really controversial, I know. But it did have some good points, and it made me very conscious of the amount of dairy that I eat, and fish as well. I mean, I don't eat meat anyway, so that wasn't really an issue, but I do think I need to cut back on the little bit of dairy I have. Maybe I just don't need to bother with it anymore. For me, I tend not to eat dairy anyway because it just doesn't suit my stomach. I don't have milk in my tea, I don't eat ice cream unless it's dairy free, I don't eat yogurts unless they're dairy free, so yeah, I'm trying to just cut back on that last bit of cheese because it is kind of gross if we really think about what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna try and cut back on that, but I'm definitely not vegan. And I try and eat, I say about 80-20, sort of healthy and, I don't want to say unhealthy and clean and not clean, but 80% of the time I try and eat plant-based as well and as good as I can. I don't count calories, I try not to really restrict myself, but at the same time on a weekend I eat what I want, basically. So if I want something healthy, then I'll have something good, and if I want something a bit more indulgent, then I will. I try not to put too much pressure on myself, because, you know, life's stressful enough as it is. So I kind of calculated, because it's quite easy to say, oh, 80% of the time I eat well and 20% of the time, you know, whatever, and you can think like, oh, that's like between weekdays and weekends, and then, you know, your weekend can start on Friday or even a Thursday night, and before you know it, you're doing 3.5 days and 3.5 days, and it's 50-50. So I tried to calculate what 80-20 was, and I came out with, it's 1.5 days where you can kind of take a chill and not have too much pressure on yourself when it comes to diet. And then I'm a little bit over the top like this, I know, but then I kind of calculated, so that's probably like four or five meals that I can just chill out on. And so what we usually do, I'll just tell you what I usually do, is Monday to kind of Thursday lunchtime I eat as well as I can. I like to have a nice healthy breakfast, something that's, I like fruit, you know, I'm not too scared of eating a lot of, I don't like neck loads of orange juice anyway. I know people are quite scared of sugars and things, but I like, you know, fruit. In the morning I like my acai bowls and chia puddings, all that sort of thing. I tend to have soup or a salad for lunch, and then in the evening I need some kind of carbs. I can't live without carbs. I don't know whether it's how I'm made or what, but I need I always feel like I need some kind of weight. I think that's, I know it sounds really cheesy, but I think it's Aveda, in Vedic medicine they talk about it being grounding, and I think I do need something that grounds me, maybe at the end of the day, because I do a lot of clients and all that. I don't know, I feel like I need something that grounds me, so I do need carbs, that kind of heavy, a little bit of stodge at night. So I generally go for like buckwheat pasta, sometimes I go for like noodles or rice, something carby I generally eat, because I personally need that. And then on a Thursday night we tend to do like a takeaway. And when I say takeaway, it's not like, we don't go to McDonald's or anything like that. It's generally like a healthy takeaway. So it's either, if we do decide to have a pizza, it's like a handmade sourdough, stone baked something that's, you know, made fresh in front of you, or we'll have like falafels and some salad. Occasionally we'll have fish and chips. But you know, fish and chips I don't always think is that bad. I don't eat the batter of the fish, so if I do have the fish I'll just eat the cod, which is kind of just steamed in the batter, and then I'll eat the chips, which is basically fresh potatoes chopped up and deep fried. So there's not that many chemicals in there. It's only when you start having all the different dodgy, you know, the curry sauces and stuff, which can be a little bit naughty. But if you can try and just stick to the basics, it's not too bad. But that's generally my Thursday night, is a chilled night. I usually work really late and I'm pretty tired, and then yeah, I just kind of have some stodge when I get in on a Thursday night, and it's just a ritual, and I love my takeaway Thursday. And then Fridays I tend to be pretty good. I do my yoga, and then I'm just trying to think off the top of my head what I do. I usually have like a nice lunch, so it's generally something more healthy, like if you're from around here, you'll know the greenhouse or the garden, or even some like sushi from the Con Club or something like that. So it's generally a lighter, healthier meal. And then Friday night is when I guess the indulgence starts, and we just chill out, me and my husband, because my husband's quite healthy as well. And so the Friday night we both just eat what we want. We never eat anything particularly bad for us, but we'll go for dinner over the weekend. And yeah, I don't count calories, I just eat what I fancy. So if I fancy a nice salad, then I'll have a nice salad, or if I fancy something, I don't know, like some pasta, or if we go for Italian, sometimes it can be quite rich, then we'll have that. I just try not to think too much about it, so I can just relax a bit more. And then that's kind of Friday, Saturday night, and then after work on a Sunday we tend to go and have a biggish meal somewhere, like a roast dinner or something like that, you know, something that's quite, again, heavy, because I work on a Sunday. So I usually have my massive breakfast in the morning, which is generally like an omelette or something like a porridge, something really heavy that basically lasts me through the day. Omelette's really good because I only make it with one egg, but I find my body just doesn't like eggs. It's so hard for it to digest. It just doesn't digest eggs very well. It just takes forever, which, as much as it's not good, it works well for me on a Sunday because I don't get a lunch break, so I just work right through, and so by the time it's digested, I've generally finished work and I'm starving. So then we will go and grab something to eat at some really stupid time at like 4 o'clock, and then just get like a really nice meal, and then just have like a snack in the evening. So that's kind of how I live, you know, how I eat. I try and eat more well on 80% of the time, so like what, 4.5, 5 days, no, I tend to eat well 5.5 days of the time, 6 days a week, that sort of thing, and then we will have a bit of a chill. But as I say, if you do decide to kind of have a bit of a blowout, try and get something that's freshly made when you're having a takeaway. I wouldn't recommend ramming like a McDonald's in every single week, because it's so processed, and the burgers are not, I'm pretty sure the burgers aren't fresh. So I would recommend getting something that's really high quality, even something, you know what, I'm not even going to say because I probably don't know, but I just recommend going to a really good quality little place that will do freshly made things like pizzas, where the bases aren't pre-made. They make all the dough fresh and all that. It might be a little bit more expensive, but it's so much better for your health. And I think I love food so much and I love eating out, but it does so badly link to the skin. And I think if you're really focusing on what you're eating and you try and eat as well as you can, you will see a difference with your skin and your skin overall health. I find clients who tend to have a lot of alcohol can break out between the brows and around sort of just kind of around this area and maybe a little bit into the forehead. Your forehead is also linked to your digestion, and it can also be the cheeks as well. I think this cheeks is linked to the stomach as well, so if you find that you're breaking out around your cheeks a lot, it's not necessarily saying it is that, but it could be that. I know things like rosacea is generally caused by an inflammation, and it can be an inflammation of the gut. So if you're not getting enough probiotics, if you're eating a lot of dairy and you might be dairy intolerant or gluten, you can get this flushing across your cheeks. So if you are struggling with rosacea, I definitely recommend just doing a little bit of a food diary really, and see how the food that you're eating is linking to how your skin is, because it does have a massive impact. Get lots of probiotics to help your gut, do all those things, because if you're not eating the right foods, it really does inflame your skin, whether it break out with acne, rosacea, and if you're not getting enough fats as well, you can get like really dryness in your skin. So yeah, and I'd also recommend, if we're going to kind of go down the food thing, is some good supplements as well. So obviously I rave about the Skin Aid. I try and take a Skin Aid most days, generally not at a weekend, but I usually have it sort of Monday to Friday, and I have it in an afternoon as a bit of a pep. And then in the morning I always take the Advanced Nutrition Programme Skin Fit 2s, which I will show you actually. So these are absolutely incredible, and I know it looks quite scary, but they come in these blister packs, and I don't know if you can see, but you get these 4 capsules, and you take one a day, 1 strip a day, and it's got so much nutrition in there. I've taken them for years. I think I stopped for about 12 months. And I switched to some other ones. I think it was the Skin Fit ones I switched to. And the Skin Fit ones are great, don't get me wrong, they still have really good vitamins, minerals, it's a really good multivit. But there's something about this Skin Fit 2, I don't know whether it's because it's got the omegas in and extras as well, it just keeps me going. So when I'm doing clients at 8, sometimes 9 o'clock at night, I just still feel I have the energy, whereas before, when I found that I stopped, I was getting a bit sluggish and I could feel myself getting tired. But I know when I've had my Skin Fits, I'm just wired. And yeah, I probably shouldn't, but I do take a Skin Aid in the afternoon as well, because I like to get lots of vitamins in, but I don't necessarily recommend you do both, because yeah, that's just me. I'm a little bit over the top like that. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a heads up and an insight as to what my diet's like, because I think people seem to think I just live on this really hardcore healthy diet all the time, but I do like to eat out. Me and my husband eat out quite a lot, and I eat out with my girlfriends quite a lot. So yeah, just it's a nice way to live, I think, that kind of 80-20. There's so many different fads and diets out there, and you just have to be really careful, because you don't always know what they're going to do to your system. But if you can, that's what works for me, just 1.5 days, or like 4 or 5 meals a week where you're just not putting that much pressure on yourself. I mean, I wouldn't recommend the 5 meals a week as your evening meal and it's a takeaway. But over the space of the weekend, if maybe like on a Saturday and you have like a big Sunday lunch or something, then you don't have to try not to feel too guilty and put so much pressure on yourself, because as I say, life is really stressful enough, and yeah, we don't need to put any more pressure on ourselves when it comes to diet. So yeah, I don't know if you found that interesting. I hope you did. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.